So I started watching ReZero. After hearing about it from several people who said if I liked summertime rendering I would like ReZero, I decided I was going to start watching it. So we're going to go over the first episode, which is all I've seen so far because it was 50 minutes. And we're going to talk about how I feel about the show. So it starts off with the main character being in a store and we see someone bleeding out also in the process. And then he just magically goes into another world. So he's wandering the world, putting together, oh, this must be a magical world. And then he screams out like an idiot, acting like he's going to activate some magic, and luckily someone else saved someone who was in the street. He goes to places trying to shop, but his money isn't valid and he's getting hoed in every single place he goes to. And as if his day wasn't going bad enough, he's sitting in an alleyway until 3 people walk up to this nigga and basically say they're gonna rob him. So in the midst of this, we see a blonde girl, I'm sorry I forgot her name, and he's like, oh, you must be the girl who summoned me here, are you here to help me? And she's like, no, I don't really have time for that, and then dips. So the main character like, man, screw that, I'ma just defend myself. And at first he was succeeding, right? I was like, okay, until he runs up on someone, he pulls out a weapon, and then he turns into a hoe. So they start stomping the goofy out of this man, right? Until we see another girl go down the alleyway. Now all she wanted to know was where the person who took her badge went. They pointed to where she was. It looked like she wasn't gonna help, but then she was like, I can't let this slide, and she helps him out. So the main character is severely beaten up and passes out, but then she pulls out her freaking magical cat and made her go human size and heals him while he's asleep. So to repay the favor, the main character wants to help her find her badge. And we see a compilation of them going around the city, right? But no luck so far. And then while they're taking a mini break, they all opt to introduce each other, right? So the main character's name is Subaru, the cat's name is Puck, and the girl's name is Satella. So they go back in the city, right? And they see a crying little girl and they assume she's lost. So after he chills her nerves with a magic trick, right, they try to help her find her parents and she finds her mom. Later on, they come across the dude who insulted him for being broke earlier and ask if they could ask some questions, but they said, nope, you're broke. But then it turns out that the little girl that they helped find her mom earlier, that's her dad. So they ask for information on the blonde girl and they get told to go to the slums as that's where she has some rep. So after some time, right, they went by hella people. They asked for help a couple times. They finally come across a building where she might be. So he tells her he's gonna go in and she stay behind. He goes in and sees somebody cooked on the floor. So automatically he's nervous and then he gets cooked in 0.5 seconds. So when you hear somebody might have got cooked, you know, why not just walk into the building and start saying their name? So she walks into the building asking for the main character and then she gets cooked right after him. And then while they're both cooked on the floor, he's basically declaring that he's gonna save her from the situation and then he's taken back into the past, right back to where he was with the shop owner. So he's a bit confused, but then he's like, oh, I gotta go back to that place so I can help that girl out. So he goes back to the bar and then he sees the old man that was cooked when he first walked in the first time he went there. So they start having conversation, right? He asked, did he die before? He said no. He's confused about what's going on and tells the old man he has no money, but he has things he can trade for in exchange for his bar. So he shows him a flavor of chips he likes the flavor. And then eventually the girl finally arrives. So he's asking her if she remembers him and she's saying no. They go inside, cut up a little bit. They're trying to talk about trades. And he says, well, I don't have money for your badge, or at least to get the badge back, but I do have this magical device that can freeze moments and capture moments. Basically gaslit them into thinking it was some type of magic. And they were impressed by it and said it was worth more than the badge, but they have to negotiate with her client to see if she has something more to offer. So after a bit of banter, her client finally arrives and they instantly get to negotiate, right? So they start talking deals, but she didn't present enough money and he ended up winning. So he was celebrating, right? And then this bitch pull out a knife and tries to kill him. So the old man pulls out a big old something, I don't know what you call that weapon, and is chasing her around the room, but then she with ease cooks this nigga. So then we see the girl mad. She's like, I'll get you for that, right? Charges at her. She gets cooked easily also. So then we see Subaru stand up, right? And gets ready to charge at her. And he actually learned a couple things because he got attacked the first time, but it wasn't enough as he still got cooked. So she's just watching menacingly while he's bleeding out. And then he goes back to the time where he's talking to the shopping owner again. But this time he passes out, right? So then the shopping owner puts some water on him. It's like, hey, what's going on with you? But then he sparks Satella, right? So he's running up. He's like, hey, Satella, oh my God, you're alive. I thought you were dead. And I went back to the play, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, I don't even know who you are. And why are you calling me by the witch's name? Which is where it ends. Now, this plot is very interesting, right? The reincarnation thing. Like I said, I like summertime rendering. But one thing that the first episode showed me is the main character is an actual idiot. Like, okay, I want you to think logically. In this situation, of course, it's not a logical scenario. But you got cooked the first time, right? At that exact place, right? And you're thinking, oh, maybe it was a dream. But if you thought it was a dream, then you wouldn't think that these people that you're coming across would remember you. So why are you asking if they remember you? Or acting as if they would remember you? Two, if you got cooked at that same place, why would you think it's okay to chill there and hang out there all day? And then you see a girl coming in that looks like a freaking demon on this world. I don't know why you didn't suspect she was a killer. And that, like, everything is fine and dandy. And then you're just screaming out someone's name. Now, the ending is interesting. I'm wondering if she said that, right, because people can't know who she actually is, right? And she acted like she was offended by her name. And I actually believe she doesn't know who he is. But yeah, bro, I'm intrigued by the first episode, though. I'll give you that much, though. I just think the main character is an idiot. And I'm sorry if I'm not getting names right, if I'm saying names wrong, bro. I don't remember names of anime characters until like a season. And even then, I'll be forgetting, bro. I ain't gonna lie.